Hey guys, it's your girl Apple. I know y'all missed me because I missed y'all. Um, but I kind of just want to dive into this video because it's very topic specific. It's something that came to me that I know definitely is very, very important for us to start having more conversations about. And this is definitely a topic I would have had with my girls. But as you guys know, I'm transitioning with a new move. So, the videos are going to vary in terms of like the group videos per individual videos because I'm definitely getting to know my environment, atmosphere, and etiquette. So this is not a typical vlog. Get ready, grab your glass of wine, whatever you want to have. We kind of gonna get nitty and gritty with this little clip, okay? Okay. So essentially, I don't know why I was driving and this topic just kind of popped in my head. It's something that I myself have definitely worked on, had to acknowledge is an issue. It's a recurring issue in certain communities and within certain races. This is not really a conversation about race per se, but race does directly affect what I'm about to talk about. So what I kind of want to talk about is is women essentially being more in their feminine energies, right? So getting straight to the point, I've noticed that inner city communities, like communities that are predominantly Black or Hispanic or groups that we consider minorities, in these areas, there are more so single family households than households that have two parents, right? And unfortunately, if we look going down a generational standpoint, a lot of the time, the woman is the one that is present in the household, as in she is carrying the household alone with children and whatever else responsibilities, while the male is whether deceased, incarcerated, or actively in the streets, or just not holding up the overall responsibilities of a male or partner. So in turn, a lot of the time, a lot of the time, we see households being raised by single parents, which are single moms. Okay, raise your hand if you come from a single parent household and 9 out of 10, that household was a woman, right? So you were raised, whether you are a man or female, you were raised seeing a woman carry all of the responsibilities of a home. That includes cooking, cleaning, paying bills, working, taking care of children. So she is literally doing all of the roles. Like she's taking the garbage out, she's doing laundry, she's making dinner, she's playing every single hat, right? So you as a woman being raised in this type of household, or a little girl, you are being raised, and listen, we are always being programmed. No matter how much you want to think you are above the law, these are literally laws of nature. Okay, it is what it is. You have to be able to identify it to create a solution to get out of these predicaments, right? To break these things we call generational curses, because now I'm seeing everybody talk about generational curses and breaking them, but we are not really talking about identifying the generational curse in itself so that we can create solutions to break them. So if you're a little girl being raised in this environment, you're constantly seeing a woman take care of all of the responsibilities. You are now channeling this energy as well. So now as a woman, you don't even understand the responsibility or the role of a man because you've never seen it. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what it feels like, and you've always seen your mother or whatever female took care of you. You've always seen them handle everything. They're in survival mode. And, it's you as a woman, you just feel like, okay, this is natural. So now that's why we have a lot of women, again, in predominantly minority communities, so communities that are filled with Blacks or Hispanic women. You're seeing these women come up as teenagers and they have this mindset where they can do it all. They want to do it all. And there's nothing wrong with being a young, independent woman, but you don't want to remain a young, independent woman all your life. Okay, I want you guys to understand you do get old and gray eventually. At some point you want to start having conversations about growing a family. And when we are talking about a healthy family dynamic, it does not only involve a woman, right? It doesn't make sense. It's not scientifically, or biologically possible, right? So, and having these conversations where I'm seeing conversations about a woman being submissive to a man, this is where I want to bring this into the conversation. How is a woman supposed to be submissive to a man that doesn't know how to be a man? So now let's get into these conversations about young men that are raised in environments, again, going back to that single parent, single woman doing everything type of environment. You have a young man being raised by a woman. Again, technically, scientifically impossible for a woman to teach a man how to be a man. We do fortunately have some situations where it is successfully done, and I'm sure those situations involve God's grace abundantly. But in reality, a woman should not have the responsibility of teaching a young man how to be a man. Okay, and then this is where I want to talk about, my brothers that got to start doing better. You have to stop sitting back and you in a full-blown relationship with a woman and you think it's okay for your woman to outwork you in every department. I'm gonna have to edit some crickets here, right? Because if you have a woman that is financially dominant, intellectually dominant, dominant in every single way, you can't possibly think that she is going to let you lead her. Why should she let you lead her if she is doing all of the work? Please feel free to drop comments below because I definitely would like to know why we, kind of think this behavior is okay, right? So for my fellas that's talking about all this hoo-ha about wanting women to be more submissive and wanting women that listen and wanting women that are going to act as women, you have to be willing to lead and show a woman that you are a man and show a woman that it's okay for her to let her guard down. It's okay for her to listen to you because you have a brain. Okay, you can handle business. You can show up. If things need to be handled and taken care of, you are proactive and not reactive. Right? Once you start to show a woman that she can actually rely on you, and again, this is a woman who's been in survival mode for as long as we know. In fact, she was born into survival mode. So once you get to this point where you realize, okay, I might have to do first, okay, because leaders are willing to lead first. And then she is going to follow when I show her that I'm not only going to do this one time, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to be repetitive. Meaning I'm not doing it just to get your draws off. I'm not doing it just because, this is benefiting me. I'm not doing it for these little reasons that you might have as insecurities. I'm not doing it to get to you. I'm doing it because I'm a man and I feel as though these are my obligations. These are my responsibilities, right? I've actually heard some old heads talk before, right? Like older men. And the crazy thing is, older men need to start, the older men need to start having conversation with these younger men so that we can close these large gaps of missing information where we're allowing the youth to be led by entertainment. Like I'm talking about television, I'm talking about music, I'm talking about youth leading youth, right? Which we see on a daily basis. How can you as a youth lead another youth? Like, you are just not mature. You haven't been taught the right principles and foundations, right? So it's very important for these older men and older women that know, like the older women, they'll tell you in a heartbeat, yeah, my man will go work and I'm at home and I'm taking care of the kids. And when he get paid, he bring home the check and, we break down the bills. I'm paying the bills. And then we tuck a little away in our savings for a rainy day and da-da-da. And they tell you like how they were able to successfully allow a home dynamic to work. And it's like we have to just start having these conversations more proactively and not run from them. It's okay to sit and say, all right, well, I identify the fact that I was raised in a single parent household. I identify the fact that I've been in survival mode for as long as I can remember, because I've always been the doer. I've always had to have my own back because I never felt like anyone else had my back. So I always had to do everything. Right? And then from identifying that, we have to go into no longer allowing ourselves to be a part of the issue, because sometimes you only attract what you know. So now you as a woman or you as a young man, you start to go out there and you start to attract partners that are broken. You're attracting a woman that knows nothing about her feminine energy. So you as the woman that's lacking feminine energy, you start to attract a man that's in his feminine, because that's all he's ever known. He's only ever known his mama. He only ever experienced his grandma and his auntie. So now you're stuck with this man that's super, super caught up in his feminine energy. Okay, so we have to start identifying these things within us and within our communities and within our environments and taking a stand on it. So when I say take a stand, you have to be willing to walk away from situations that are not serving or deserving of you. And yes, sometimes it's very, very difficult, but let me tell you what is more difficult. What's more difficult than walking away from a situation that's not deserving of you is having a child with that person. Okay, so now you're caught with this person, quote unquote, for life, right? And now you have another life that you're responsible for, and you don't have any sort of help or assistance. What's even worse than that is having multiple kids with this person, right? Who already knows nothing about responsibilities, nothing about admitting when they are wrong and showing up and doing for the people that they love, right? A lot of people just want to talk about things, but there's no action whatsoever following these words, okay? I'm gonna need us to wake up and stop being blinded by words. Words are simply not enough. Allow your partner to lead by action, okay? If they really mean it, they're going to do. If he really cares, he's going to show up, okay? What hurts more than walking away from somebody that you love oh so much is being broken every single day. Facing the fact that you don't have anyone that you could lean on, even though you're in a relationship or you're opening your legs for this person. One or the other, because nowadays you don't have to be in a relationship, but you're opening your legs for this person who doesn't value you enough to even show up for you. That hurts. When you look into the mirror and you look at yourself and you're like, okay, I don't even value myself. This is a real life conversation that you need to start having with yourself. And, this conversation, it honestly just goes so much deeper, but I feel like I just needed to kind of get that off my chest. I know this is going to be one of probably another, because there are different fragments of this type of conversation that needs to be broken down, that these conversations involve our counterparts, right? Because a lot of times as women, as young women, as young Black women or colored women, whatever you want to call it, we get a lot of backlash for saying, for example, we want to be with somebody financially responsible, okay? Somebody that is financially literate. When we start to have these conversations, we take a lot of heat because of people's ignorance, okay? And why I say ignorant, when you go to other communities, when you go to other cultures, for example, you go to an Asian community, you go to an African community, you go to a Caucasian community, right? A woman's parents will tell you straight up. And they tell their daughter and their sons know the same thing as well. If you are a man that is interested in dating my daughter, you have to be able to assume certain responsibilities before I approve of this. There are many, many cultures. There is a reason why marriage is number one. In a lot of cultures, you can't even have sex unless you are married. And that is for a reason. When you start to have sex, you assume certain responsibilities. Responsibilities included and not limited to, health, but bringing kids into a picture, into the dynamic, right? So for all of you that say you want to break all of these generational curses, but you're running around having sex, and 9 out of 10 you're having unprotected sex, and let's be real, even when it's protected, there is still chances of having babies, right? But you're having, quote unquote, you're having sex with a man or a partner that you don't ever see yourself being able to have a child with. So what is the point? Do you think a woman in the Asian community could go let her parents know, oh yeah, or like even have them thinking that she's doing this, and this with a man, and that's not her man? And that man can't assume certain responsibilities. He's lacking education. He doesn't have anything to bring to the table. Do you think they're gonna take her serious? I know a lot of cultures you could actually get exiled. Do you want to be exiled? Do you want to be exed out of the home? And then as a man, it's sad to say, but do we even think about who is going to have our last name at this point? Do we think about the woman that we're going to impregnate and what she's bringing to the table, and the fact that she's going to birth a child that should be having your last name, aka your legacy? But maybe because we are so accustomed to a lack of legacy, we don't think about the importance of these questions, right? So I hope I brought up some triggering topics, something that hits you, a little deep enough for you to go ahead and comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what topics you want me to touch a little bit more on. But I'm definitely sure this is going to be one of many more videos to come. And if you are open to doing any sort of collaboration, let me know. Your girl is definitely open to having to sit down. Maybe you're a male counterpart, maybe you're a woman, whatever it is, and you are triggered or you want to bring something to the table you want to talk about. I'm definitely open to it. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely, it's the top of 2024. We're in January. Don't let the year go by and you're still doing the same things that you were doing last year. Okay? And you letting the same folks treat you any type of way as you did last year. Okay, so peace and love. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.